Everyone, welcome back to more Fleshy Band. Today we're doing some S tier Saturdays, just trying out some new things with Zen. I think the most interesting card here that I've kind of changed in my list is Harmony the Hunt, so we're kind of trying this out over Spinning Wheel Kick. Uh, I think the strengths of this card are kind of like non-obvious, so I kind of want to try to talk about it for a little bit. So being a 2-block, obviously not great, but what do we get from this card? So it's a 1 for 3 with Go Again. It presents some kind of like annoying breakpoints in the late game, so you can do like 3-2-1 off Tiger with just like two cards basically, which is kind of interesting. But I think the most interesting part of this card is that it's an attack that lets you like cash a Tiger in Arsenal. So like you can play this for 3, play out your turn, and then like end on arsenaling a Tiger, which I think is very, very strong. Especially if you're running cards like Bouncing Key, like Swipe, etc. So Growl also kind of synergizes with that as well. So I kind of want to give this a shot at like a 2 of. I'm not sold on this as being like a 6 of like the Nick Butcher list. I think the red copy is also like a little bit better just for like that extra kind of like Go Again. But I kind of want to try it at the red slot and see how we like it. I think that the caching part is kind of the most interesting. And I think one of the reasons why you play this over like Tiger Form Incantation is that Tiger Form Incantation requires you to play the Tiger, or a Tiger at least, whereas this, like, you don't have to play a Tiger to get the damage out of it, basically. So it's a very interesting card. Also, like, doesn't brick you with, like, Warmongers and stuff, so I think there's, like, a lot of, like, little niche synergies with this card, which I think makes it really interesting. Also on the board, I think I changed out the that all you have for like Flick Flack. I think like against Iroh, which I've seen like a lot more like popularity lately. I think you want like a set of 5 4-block reacts because a lot of them do run like 1 needle. I found, or it's either double Kodachis or 1 needle. And I feel like the games that I've gotten a little bit closer to losing have been the 1 needle games where I'm just not able to find a react. So upping another 4-block react seems pretty decent into her. And then I think that's pretty much the only changes. So I'm going to go ahead and give these Harmony Hunts out a shout out today over the Spinning Wheel Kicks. Again, I think the changes are pretty minimal there, but I do think this card has like a lot of legs. So I'm going to give it a shot. Yeah, but with that, we'll get into the games. All right, we have the mirror. Opponent has correctly chosen for me to go first. I think in the mirror, I do like these kind of like 4-block reacts. Let's cut some of our 2 blocks. I think adding the spinnings is also like semi-reasonable, or cutting the Harmony Hunts is also semi-reasonable. Or those. I think I typically run it like this, but let's give it a shot. I don't really like the wax on, wax off package in the mirror, if I'm being honest. Okay, interesting starting hand. So I do ideally want to arsenal this 100 wins. And I want to ideally deny them a little bit of filtering. If they get a little too greedy and like overblock this, we can send CNC at them. Might be able to leak some damage and we arsenal this 100 wins. If they go for a 1 block, we're ahead on filtering at least. Or like semi-ahead on filtering. So I think I'm okay with this. Alright. Hand is not ideal. Looks like they might have turn 1 Transcend as well. Opponent is on Spinning Wheel Kick, which I don't think is like that bad of a card. I think like the slots with like the Harmony Hunt are like pretty interchangeable for the most part. Fortunately, our hand at least does block pretty well. If they do have like a disruptive effect here, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and take this. I'm assuming we're gonna see a Transcend here. Although they could have just YOLO'd. This is maybe looking like a YOLO. So what are we doing with our hand next turn? We can do nothing great. So I think the play, it's kind of tough because if they just like do nothing here, I'm going to feel pretty bad. But I think we're supposed to just take this. We can at least try to get rid of our hand next turn if we do something kind of funky. Alright, so we don't have to play around CNC anymore. Let's go ahead and block wind here. It doesn't really matter because we can like just pitch this anyways. So I think it's fine to just block a little bit here. Wanted to be a little bit safe against CNC and weakest link, but it looks like they're gonna probably just pass it here. Alright, our turn is pretty weak, but at least we do have CNC. Should maybe strip him of some cards. They haven't transcended yet, which is good. So the game is at least a little bit even in that regard. Ooh, Tiger Eye Reflex, very nice for the CNC. Definitely not bad here. Tiger Eye is also like a card that comes in and out of my list. I think it does have like a lot of legs, but I don't know. I feel like having like a bunch of 4 blocks is just kind of a little bit better right now against like Aurora and stuff. It's definitely interesting. I don't know if you run Tiger Eye Reflex in the same list that you run Wax On, Wax Off. At least it feels like to me. So here, it's kind of interesting. So we can actually do a Chase Aspect on our turn. And we can also Flick Flack. So it's a pretty good turn from us. I guess the question is, like, do we want to use this Flick Flack now? We probably do want to block something this turn. Whether it's Mauling Key, because we can also, like, Arsenal Flick Flack. So I think this is fine. We'll see what they do here. So they do have Chi in hand, they have 1 floating. I guess the question is, do we want to block this and then block their Mauling Key, which I assume they have? They could also do what here? They have Chi in hand. They didn't Kakara, which means it's probably not CNC. Probably not CNC. I guess we will just utilize our Flick Flack here, because we don't really want to use this Mauling on our turn. Or, like, we could, like, save it, but then we're just, like, blocking 3. I don't know. I think it's close. Oh, they're going for Chase Aspect. Okay. So Tiger will come in for 4, so it doesn't really matter which one we block. I'm assuming this is Aspect or Pouncing Paws. And then we don't care about Tiger Swipe, really. So I think we're fine just getting our block in here. I'm assuming... Oh, they have the Chi in hand, right? So they just get Aspect. Yeah, makes sense. For some reason, I thought they were already tutored. Oh, interesting. Okay, swipe here. Where did they get the first... Oh, they got it from the Tiger Eye Reflex, right. That's why I was confused, because they had a Tiger. Okay, that makes sense. So, pretty good first turn from them, but we basically kind of have the same exact turn, except minus the Tiger Swipe. So I think we're fine to take a little bit of damage here. We definitely are a little bit behind. But is what it is. I don't think we're that far behind. Tiger Eye Reflex definitely pretty good with Chase the Tail. Here, we're going to banish this Tiger Eye Reflex so they can't preserve it. Gain our resource, and then we'll do Chase Aspect of our own. Where's our Aspect? There it is. So I think life totals are going to end up semi-even. They do get to a 4-card hand, so obviously very good going second in the Zen Mirror. Right, popping Traverse, definitely a little bit scary. So they're going to get a 5-card hand plus Pouncing Paws. So I hope our next hand is good enough to deal with that. Okay, not entirely. Okay, so we do see Tiger Form blue plus Sacred Art, so this is going to be a pretty decent turn. We might want to give Kasaya here. Yeah, it's probably worth it. It sucks, but like, we're gonna save a ton of life here from Traverse plus Kasaya. I don't typically like doing defensive, this defensively, but I think it's probably worth it here. Like, I think it's only worth it to do defensively if you're, first of all, behind, and they're also doing, like, a big Sacred Art turn, so I think it's pretty reasonable here. So will hopefully let us reestablish a little bit of tempo. But obviously feels pretty bad to pop both Kasaya and Traverse for this. We'll go ahead and block with Pouncing Key here, I think. Seems fine. Definitely a rough turn. Alright, here we'll go ahead and block with, I guess, levels. We're not really at risk of CNC or weakest link, so I think it's fine to just, like, continuously block. Car for 2. I think this is fine to let go through. My opponent has definitely seen a lot more chi than we have. Or they've seen one more chi than we have, so. A little bit of a rough spot. Kind of going to save this 100 wins in case they have like a tiger swipe here. Seems semi-likely. Alright, so less likely now. Go ahead and block with 100 wins. I guess hold on to the sink. Alright, seems like they're going to pass it back. So they still have to deal with another turn as end state, which might be good for us. We did save a lot of damage there. Alright, this is like a decent hand for pivoting, though. Got Transcend, some good stuff. Say no blocks on this. I do think that the Zen Mirror, for what it's worth, is like largely just determined by like who transcends more often and or first. So I think things have gone a little bit unlucky for us this game, but not like that badly. I think just enough to the point where we're probably not super far in it, but we'll take some damage here. We're going to be taking 4 total from what they have on board at least, plus maybe a Kakara. Hopefully we can try to send this hand at them. Alright, Shuko is going to be able to push through Tiger. This is also why I don't think like Wax On, Wax Off is all that good into the mirror, just because like Zen State still you'll deal a ton of damage through it. Okay, Sensor is very spicy. So let's go ahead and sink below here, which I guess is maybe what we're saving it for. And what do we want to get rid of here? So we unfortunately aren't getting Kasaya mana, so the Rising Sun's a little bit awkward. I think we want to hold on to the blue for our turn, so I guess we're getting rid of Molenki here. I think so. Okay, I don't mind another blue. Might need to get a little bit lucky here. So I don't know if we're actually going to be able to like race them through this point. So let's go ahead and start with Harmony and hope we hit something. Alright, we hit a Wind Chakra. Not ideal. Okay, Stir the Pot's interesting. So I guess that means we're bottoming this. Then we can do 2. We can also Wind Chakra. Huh. There are a couple different lines here. I feel like I want to save this for next turn, but I don't know. I feel like we're pretty far behind this game. I feel like pitching the Wind Chakra makes more sense, maybe. I think it's the same amount of damage either way. Alright, go ahead and activate Zen. Let's get our Molenki. Again, defensive Zen State is like almost never good in the mirror, but I think we got like a pretty decent amount of value out of that. I think we probably just needed to go for it in order to stay alive. Okay, I'm glad we... okay, interesting. I'm kind of glad we were getting a block out of them there. Huh. Hey, their hand's just not very good. Don't mind them having like a brick hand here. That might be a way that we can kind of salvage this. Okay, this is also another potential way we can salvage this, is just drawing into like a pretty nutty hand. Okay, so how do we not fuck this up? I guess we're just transcending on our turn and then blocking with Pouncing Paws here. I think so. Go to 7, which is pretty rough. If they have like a Zen State, we're pretty dead. But I don't know if I see another option. I think we just need to try to go for it here. All right, so let's go for it. So, double transcend. I feel like I'm still a little bit late on the draw here, so I think we're actually going to end up getting another Tiger Swipe here. So let's go ahead and start with Kakara, I guess. I think we need to try to force through 2 Tiger Swipes is how we win this game. Ooh, that all you got's pretty spicy here. Actually, we should not be, sorry. Whoops. we should do Tiger first. Do Chase. Yeah, opponent seems pretty tech for the mirror, which makes sense. But we have a pretty nasty turn here. So they're kind of forced to block both of these Tiger swipes, which is really good. Alright, so I'll demand 2 more cards at least, I think, unless they have a 4 block here. Should I press the advantage with Pouncing Paws? It's kind of interesting. I feel like probably no, though. It's only like 2 extra damage if it hits. I think we just send it. Alright, we do get the last 2 cards out of their hand, so they're only going to have a 3-card hand, effectively. So I think that's good for us. Definitely what we needed to stay in this game. And this is also a really good hand. So we're not blocking here. I'm assuming they're transcending, maybe. Could also just be sending us for damage. Oh, double 200 wins. Sure. Sure. We'll see no blocks. They do have all their armor gone, which is good. Alright, we're using levels for pitch this turn, getting chase, and then Kakaring. Seems to be correct. And then I don't think we're using this Tiger. Definitely an interesting game. They had like one turn where they kind of bricked. I think kind of let us at least get a little bit of tempo back. It definitely felt like we were kind of behind for most of this game, though. Like, I think this is going to end up demanding blocks from them. Because we're going to be representing 3-4-4. Which is pretty good. So we'll demand 2 cards, I think, here. So force them on another 3-card hand. Oh, Tiger is really good, though. Especially from Arsenal. Alright, I demand at least 1 more card. So 3-card hand still. One of which, I guess they get a Tiger, which is kind of like an extra card. So if they have like a lackluster turn here, I think we can maybe kind of come back from this. Is now the time to give up Shuko. So we have 2-1 and then 2 other unknown cards. And then our turn is going to probably involve like Kakara, Breed Anger. I feel like now, I guess what is like something they're running Breed Anger as well. So if we don't block this, they do 2-1. Let's say they have like a Breed Anger here. They do 2-1 for 0. We'll take 3, go to 1. Then we have an awkward kind of breakpoints that we maybe have to block. I feel like we're supposed to give up Shuko here. They're pitching a Transcend also, which is interesting. So I think we're safe to go to 3 here. Wonder if we're giving up Shuko like maybe a little bit too prematurely. So you have 1 card in hand that has to be a 0 cost, which could be what? If they played a blue, they have not played a blue. We can give them E-Strike here, maybe? Because we can send 2-1-2 on our turn. Or we can do 2. We can also block with Breed Anger and send 2-1-7, which is also pretty good. I guess we're blocking with Harmony here. It's kind of interesting. So you go to 2. All right, so they have 100 wins, so I guess we're blocking this anyways. And then, are they running any reacts? Let's take a look. No reacts. So we can block E-Strike and then send 2-1-4. 4. So we would have had to give up Shuko anyways at some point this turn. So it's fine here, I think. I think 2-1-4 will probably have to be good enough and should force all the cards out of their hand, assuming that they don't draw into Chi here. Oh, it doesn't force all the cards out of their hand because we are only coming in for 1. So in that case, do we even pop Pouncing Paws? Because this will demand 2 cards from hand. They demand 1 card from us. We'll still have Pouncing Paws on next turn. So I guess this Tiger is not actually like really influencing anything about this game. Oh no, it does, because then it forces them to, oh sorry. Yeah, it does actually influence it, because then they have to give us another card here. Okay, so that was a mistake. Sure. This is maybe still fine though. All right, car for 2. I feel like I messed up there. Like actually pretty bad. So now we have to block CNC here. They draw into a Chi. It's quite bad. Flex Cause, I think we can deal with. So we block with Flick Black. Then on our turn, we send CNC. We demand 2 cards from hand. We're not developing on Tiger, which is unfortunate. I think we kind of punted by not playing the Pouncing Paws there. I was thinking that the 1 damage wouldn't matter because they... Oh, they have double transcend here. Okay. Interesting. Oh, triple transcend. Oh. Okay. So I think that was a little bit of punt there. So we actually like could have stripped out 1 extra card from them, and then they couldn't have played out like Flex Claws. So that did end. I thought the breakpoints didn't end up mattering, but that was actually kind of like a good game to illustrate, I guess, like a defensive Zen state, which I think is like very, very rare that you actually ever want to make that. I think I personally, my kind of rule of thumb is if they have a Sacred Art turn and they're making like a ton of fucking Tigers, I think that's like the only opportunity that I ever actually try to like actively go for like a defensive block traverse, block Kasaya, Zen state in the mirror. So kind of really interesting mirror actually. So kind of a cool game to at least kind of like showcase like the back and forth, because I don't think that it's like I think they had more resources. Like if we look at Chi in the deck, we see 2 flip Chi, and then how many Chi did we see in the deck? Okay, I guess we saw 4. So kind of still interesting here. So we actually were able to develop out Chi and like just by playing the long game and kind of pivot there. I think if they got a little bit luckier, they might have been able to like, if they saw Chi like 1 or 2 turns earlier, I think they probably win that game. But I think we got a little bit lucky just kind of relying on that defensive Zen state as like an out. So very, very cool game. Also like their list a lot. I think it's kind of similar to the, what is that list? The Kuala Lumpur like 8th list, I think, or the 5th place list. So very, very interesting. But yeah, pretty good game. Let's see if we can get another. All right, so we have a Boltyn. Kind of go back and forth on how to sideboard into Boltyn. I kind of like hedge for combo generally, and I think like Flick and Sync are kind of reasonable. Maybe like 1. I don't know exactly how many I want. Let's cut like the Growls and leave in the Harmony Hunts just because I want to playtest that card a little bit more. I think I would probably side them out in this matchup. What else do we not want here? Probably don't want some of our blues. So maybe like get rid of like one of these, and then maybe just get rid of like Flick Black. Maybe like 2 reacts is fine. I don't know if Combo Boltyn's like a real deck anymore. Could definitely be. Our hand is pretty gas here though. I'm assuming they're gonna charge something on turn 0 though. So we're probably like blocking with these 2, so might not be able to do Chase Aspect here. They pass though, we're like golden. So charge and illuminate. I think we'll go ahead and just block with Breed here. Okay, looks like they're passing. Sure, so now we do have Chase Aspect, which is really, really good. And we can end on a Warmongers if we wanted to. I don't know how good Warmongers is actually into normal Boltyn. It's kind of an interesting question. They do have, like, prevents him from illuminating, I guess. But, like, otherwise it's not crazy. I might just go for it and see if it does mess them up, though. Trying to think what other non-attacks Boltyn typically has. All right, if they're playing out like a more defensive hand here, though, I don't know if I do go for it. Could also just sit on it. This is mostly a hedge for combo Boltyn, which I think is like a little bit of a rougher, not like a rough matchup, but like kind of a suspect matchup. 4-card hand. Maybe just play it out. Might hose them, might not hose them, but seems like it's probably not going to hose them. All right, so we have Beaming Bravado here. We can do like 3, 2, 5 on our turn, and then Arsenal Sync. Depends what they have here. We can just save Sync for like something kind of more impactful here. All right, so we got a Raiden Swing. They don't have Lumina instant speed because of no Dead Wife Necklace. We'll just go ahead and pass here. Okay, might have actually hurt their turn. I mean, depends what they have here, but like might have actually done a little bit of work against them. I don't know what the other 2 cards in their hand were. Potentially could have been like Lumina or something. All right, they have their Courage and their Quicken, which is pretty decent. So it's going to let them save a little bit of soul on next turn. And I think we'll just send levels for 5. And then I think we're saving the Sync below just for Raiden Swing for Lumina. Oh, actually, looking at that hand, could we have gone for a Traverse Pop? We might have been able to. It's not bad with levels. Yeah, that might have actually been correct. So here, how do we want to block this? This is coming in for 5 effectively with our hands. I think we're just going to try to go for a Sync below on this, and then if if they pump it, it's bad, but like I don't know if there's much we're doing with this hand anyways. So I think this is fine. All right, we'll go for Sync here. Sync. Ace Breed's probably the worst card. All right, they did have Lumina, which makes sense. So they already have a ton of soul here. So I don't know if denying soul is really worthwhile. We can just hit 3 and 10 on our turn, and it's probably fine. Yeah, I think this is fine. So they get a decent amount of charge. Or I guess they're not getting any charge, they're just like netting, which is fine. Sure. So on our turn, we'll do 3 to 7, and then Arsenal drop, I think is reasonable. They have used a lot of their fridge so far as well. Yeah, I think there might have been an opportunity to go for it there with the levels, like block Traverse and then kind of hand dump from that position. All right, Bolt's coming in for 3. This feels like React here, potentially. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to get a little bit greedy here and like maybe try to bait them into playing out like a beacon or something and then sync or dropping it. Kind of a weak Traverse hand, but I think it's kind of worthwhile if we can like bait them into trying to like overinvest. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Bait them into overinvesting with us. So let's go ahead and bottom like one of these 100 wins. All right, they get a Raiden Swing, which is fine. I think we'll say no blocks on this. I just wanted to deny the courageous kind of play there. All right, finishing on a Valiant Thrust, which I don't think is really that bad for us. So we go down to 14. We have a pretty decent hand, and then we kind of just send it at them. And then next turn, hopefully we can do something with this drop. Seems all right. They haven't seen a lot of their scary cards like Beacon yet, so I think we're in a pretty okay spot here. I don't know what I'm getting off Zen. It's a good question. All right, they do go off a card here, which I think is good for us. Let's go ahead and activate getting... Do we want another swipe? It's probably not terrible. Could also just get Aspect if we want to be safe. But we also have Pouncing Paws if we want to, like, ensure we don't brick, I guess. So you're fine just getting Smite. It's going to come in for 5 anyway, so it's pretty unlikely that they're going to be able to block it. Alright, so we didn't get punished for that, fortunately. Which does let us develop out the hand, which, again, it's not like the most amazing, like, traverse hand, but I think it's fine there to just try to use it to cover up that draw card, basically. Then we'll go ahead and pass. Ooh, pretty good hand. So this is most likely representing Beacon. Alright, I need to remember what Beacon... Hold on. Beacon of Victory. Let's look up what this card does. Charge this turn. So you don't. It's not a non-hit. Okay, that's fine then. So how much can they charge this for? They charge for 6. They go to 9. Then they, assuming this one card is Beacon, we pump this to 9. Then we can do what? Block Kasaya, maybe make a Zen State. You can also block Kasaya now. It's kind of interesting. Huh, I'm going to try it like this and maybe see. I don't know if we do want to make a Zen State, though. It's kind of an interesting question. I'm not going to give armor here. I think this is fine. Alright, so it is Beacon, which makes sense. They're going to banish 4 here. Sure. So I think that's fine. We take 7. They get to Lumina. Or they get to Lumina plus Raiden twice. We block 4 with armor. We take 3. I think this is okay. And we can also, like, drop it. We would give up Shuko. Do we care? Kind of. So I think we take this swing, and then on the next swing we drop plus Rising Sun. Or I guess we can do it now. It doesn't really matter. Actually, sorry, hold on. We Rising Sun, drop. Gain a resource. Flip. We get a CNC. Which could be alright. Let's go ahead and pitch the Mauling here because it's most awkward with our hand. Let that hit. Take 3. This one will come in for 4. We block with armor. We can send out like a Chase plus Breed Anger plus CNC plus Kakara. I think that makes sense. We should be able to threaten their next turn pretty well. Could also save Shuko here and give them 1 extra soul and life. But that 1 life might matter, and like I feel like the game's probably going to end in the next like 2 turns. So I think this is fine. We'll lose out on 1 damage, but like we'll prevent them from gaining 1 life, basically. I think is reasonable. Alright, so here we will pitch Stir the Pot for Kakara. Right, not charging. We'll get Chase here, do our Chase thing, then do our Breed It, and then finish on CNC. Which I think gets pretty close to killing them. I don't think it kills them outright, but I think it basically forces all the cards out of their hand. So this last CNC will force this card out of hand. They go to 3. No armor left. Our hand's like pretty reasonable. So we can do E-Strike into Mauling Key, which is kind of annoying to block. I don't know if I played this game incredibly well, but I think it's been fine. I think denying the card draw was at least good. Alright, so we force them 1 now. And then this should probably seal the deal. Let's go ahead and pitch Warmongers here so we can also like win Chakra in case we draw into a Transcend. Then we'll do 100. Then Mauling should also strip another 2 cards out of their hand. Kind of in a little bit of an interesting holding pattern, but this should get there. So I think the play here is what? I guess we biting? No, it's like weird. I guess we do biting. This forces a card out of hand. We can path it. Pass. Play out Wind Chakra. Get a Tiger, which we can get. I guess Aspect here is fine. Should just get there. Because we can do 3, 4, 3. They need like a 4-block react here. Okay, they do have a 4-block react here. I wonder if there's a way to guarantee lethal there. I don't know if there was. There might have been. I'm also like quite tired, so could be that there was a way. I'm trying to like look back on the turn and think. Here we get pouncing, I think, is fine. Yeah, let me know in the comments if there was actually like mislethal there. It's entirely possible. I've kind of just been autopiloting a little bit. Alright, kill him with the Biting Breeze. Not a bad game. I wonder where their other Lunas were. Or I guess they only have 1 left. And then 2 Beacons. So I think probably a below average draw. They also didn't see like their dead wife necklace. So a little bit unfortunate for them there. But I think it was a pretty good game for us. Let's see if we can get one more. Alright, so let's play against an Ira. I think I still like going second to Ira just for the filtering. I like the 4-block reacts a lot. I don't think Cosmics are all that necessary. I'm going to try it without the Cosmics. I think this is also another matchup where unfortunately we're not probably going to be able to test a Harmony Hunt. We could run it if we want to be a little bit spicy, but I think this is fine. I think 2 blocks are generally a liability. Okay, so we do see a Zephyr Needle build, which is kind of interesting. So I think we're going to use 1 over 3 blocks there, and then I assume the other 2 3 blocks on whatever their ender is. Fortunately, we won't get to pop, but we do have a Sacred Art in our first hand. Ooh, they have a Knives Out. So maybe more of like a Zephyr Needle-y build, potentially. Definitely interesting. All right, into a Bittering, which is not bad. So worst case scenario here is like Weakest Link, which we wouldn't really be able to block anyways. I mean, we could theoretically block with like Pouncing Paws, but it feels pretty bad. So I guess the question is, do we let this hit, or do we want to block the next thing? I think we probably do want to just end up letting this hit. Because if it is Weakest Link, we just probably get blown out from if we let the Sacred Art go. So I think it's fine to leak that damage, and then we can filter the last 2 cards. They could also just like not get greedy here if they wanted to. It's definitely an interesting, because like if they have Weakest Link here, I think, okay, they don't, fortunately. So we get good filtering here. Unfortunately, we already had our Transcend card, so we didn't really need the filtering. Ooh, they're gonna pop Breaking Skills. Okay, very spicy. Sure. So you get a Mass Trigger, but it's on turn 1, and they have to give up both of their armor pieces? Huh. That's interesting. I mean, they pushed a lot of damage here, but like, I feel like they give up a lot of resources to do so. So I guess pretty good from them, but like, still only 11 damage here. Okay, so pretty good turn from them. We do have the Sacred Art though into Chase Aspect, so I think we're probably just doing that. Unfortunately, we don't find a second blue, but is what it is. Still good here. Let's go ahead and get our Chase. And I'm glad to see some of their armor out of the way early. So like they're basically like paying like 2 armor, like two life basically to push like how much? Like 7 extra damage, which I think the trade-off there kind of makes sense, but they also don't get to keep an arsenal. So I don't know. It's like borderline good, almost. I think that they lose a lot of resources by doing that, but maybe it's worth it for that like 7 extra damage they dealt. It's definitely close. Alright, we'll just send Tiger Swipe here. I don't really like arsenaling like Tiger Swipe if I can just like play it. I think this card is like sometimes a liability. Alright, so we get him down to 25, which is really good. Ooh, we do have the Flick Flack, which is really good against Needle. Alright, looks like they also maybe are on like they're running break. They're more on like a combo build, which is kind of interesting. We'll go ahead and say no blocks on this. They might try a pressure needle here. We might actually honestly give them a traverse here because our hand's like pretty good for sending another chase. Even bigger than that. Okay, they are cooking something here. This is not like a lot of IRA lists I've seen. I mean, the needle, like the equipment suite, kind of similar. I think I see most of them on Shuko though. Okay. We have. Is this a weakest link? Sure. So I don't really care about weakest link. They're also pitching 2 CNCs, which is kind of interesting. So in this case, what's the play? So if we want to send Chase Aspect, which we kind of do, we have to give up 7 here, which is a little bit awkward. I feel like the play might just be block 3 and then send 6 on our turn, and then Arsenal Flick for the next turn. Their hands have been pretty inefficient. Yeah, I think this is fine. Obviously, it's like not great to like not play out your chase, but still have 1 more in the deck, so I think we're in an okay spot here. All right, so we'll pass here. Now they know about the Flick though, so they're probably not going to go for Needle. It's kind of interesting little mind game here. I mean, not even a mind game, but like I guess like they do get some pretty good information off that weakest link. So we'll just send 6 here, which is like mid, but it's fine. And we just get to sit on Flick Flack, so they can't develop out their Needle. They also bottom 2 CNCs, so our Flick it should be pretty safe unless they draw into the 3rd one. I think Flick is really good against Ira. I think it's a lot better than like wax on, wax off right now into her. Because you have to like line it up, which is awkward, and then like it doesn't like deal with the Kodachi breakpoints like all that well. So this is also like a hand I want to try to go for Traverse if they give me the opportunity here. All right, bittering for 5. I think we will just develop out the React here. They already know about the Flick Flack, so like there's no point sandbagging it for like a million years, I think. Ooh, they do have Concealed Blade. What does this do for them? They already have their needles though. I guess it gets 1 over, but it's kind of fine. I think this is okay. I guess they get an extra +1 pump, but you can still just block it here. And on our turn, we can just send CNC at them, Arsenal levels. I don't think we need to pop Traverse here. A little bit confused here. I feel like there's something off with the sequencing. All right, Tornado Tempo, so this will not give them a card draw. So they could just go for Traverse here. We're not getting like a Chase Aspect, but I think that's fine. And you could just send Chase with Pouncing Paws. Also semi-reasonable. We do just have levels though, so I think it's probably worth it. Alright, so Needle is now out of the way. Let's go ahead and do levels, pitch, activate Zen. Getting Pouncing Key seems reasonable here. We could also get Swipe. This Swipe's a little bit better for the Shuko, but it is our last one, which I think is fine. Don't need Swipe. We'll do Drago. Man, we can just Arsenal this next turn, and it's probably fine. Bubbles coming in for 3 is good. It's looking like potentially more of like an aggressive Ireless, which I guess is kind of interesting. I guess there's also not like a ton of reason to play CNC here, but I guess it's just damage, so it's fine. Damage they can't react to. Like, I think we're actually like really far ahead on tempo. And we'll finish on the CNC. Which is not great when they don't have an arsenal, but still 6 damage. Alright, see a sensor block, which I think is probably good for us. Alright, find some more chi, which is very, very good. Opponent has a soul beat strike here. Kind of interesting. I guess how do they pump it? Could just force them to. Not really opposed to that. Block like 5 here. Though we can't transcend, I guess. So maybe block like 5 here. Seems fine. I'll force them to have something here. So on our turn, we do... I think we do want to transcend here. It's a little bit kind of clunky, but I guess we can just bottom the tiger. I think this is fine. So do 2 or 0-3 transcend, get a 0 cost, like 100 wins or something, and then strike the tiger at the bottom. Alright, blocking with dishonor is fine. Activate Zen, getting 100 wins, do that. Okay. Hopefully the tiger doesn't come back to bite us, but we'll see. We will definitely see. We developed out a decent amount of chi this game too. I think we're at 3 or 4 by now. So like, the longer the game goes, we might actually be kind of favored here. I think in games against Ira where you don't see a lot of chi that you're able to develop, like the longer the game goes on, it might actually not be as favored for you. This is just vanilla damage, no on hit, no draw, so this is fine. So here, I guess we just do chase aspect, sinking E-strike. Okay, and we hit 100 wins, which is pretty good. So, oh, we couldn't have done that if we Okay, so we got lucky here, but we couldn't have actually done that. I guess no, still can't do that. Okay, so we got lucky here. We would not have actually been able to do that if I didn't get bailed out by 100 wins. Because I forgot that we need an attack for path. Because I am fucking losing my mind right now. But this is still fine. So, never punish, I guess. I think there is definitely a situation there where we basically just kind of lose the game on the spot. Better lucky than good. Alright, armor block here is good for us. Let's get tunic block as well. So they can go to 1 here. Keep a 2-card hand, which is probably the best thing to do at this point. I think that all red hand in the beginning kind of killed them pretty bad. Alright, the tiger has come back to bite us. Unfortunate. But we're still fine here, I think. Alright, big scary CNC. I feel like we're just taking this, right? Could also block 7 with our own CNC. And then we would lose out. We could do 2-1. We could do like this. Is that better? I feel like it's better to just send the hand, right? Because we can do 2-1. Yeah, this should just be lethal. So I think we're supposed to take this. All right, so we'll do 2, 1, 1. Or no, we can't do. No, this doesn't actually work. I thought we had an extra resource for some reason. As you can tell, I'm fully aware and fully all here. Uh, so if they have a 2 block here, I guess they die. Kind of fumbling this game a little bit at the end here. All right, looks like they drew into react plus that, so maybe they're getting a little bit greedy here. We're not going to do a rematch. I think that's probably a good place to kind of wrap it up for today. Again, I think Harmony Hunt. I don't think we really even got the chance to kind of use this card, so maybe we need to go 2 or 3 of just to see it more often. But I think I'd probably just run this out of 2 of in place of the spinning Milkix. I think at a certain point, like I actually made this board. Where is it? Core. Yeah. So I think like if we take a look at this, like I think E-Strike is borderline core. Like I think like these this looks about right, right? I think sinks are kind of core as well. I personally like sinks a lot. I think this is like the core 60, and if you look at like the main deck 60, I guess we like board out this, we board out like this. I think these are like kind of the 48 best cards in Zen, and then the other 12 cards I think don't matter a ton. You can like maybe it's like something like 44 or 46, but like I think that pretty much all these cards are like borderline uncuttable or like pretty much in most endless. But you just see still see some variety, so like I think it might be closer to like 40 or something. But like the last 20 cards I feel like don't actually matter a whole lot for Zenless. I think it's more so just like your standard good stuff. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Let me know if you have any suggestions for cards to try. I might go back to Tiger Eye Reflex at some point. That might be worth exploring too. I know people like that card a lot. I just like the 4 blocks in certain matchups, but again, to each their own. Yeah, but thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.